you've decided to start a business and you don't know what business to start, but you know you want to start a business. So then your question becomes, what business do you start in Zambia? Okay, so this is the video for you. Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I am Matilda. So if you're new here, please remember to share, like, and subscribe to this channel, and also hit the bell button so that you are notified of all and any uploads I make during the week. There are many areas you can consider to start a business. Zambia is a third world country, meaning it's relatively underdeveloped. So underdeveloped places have a lot of problems that need solving. And remember from one of my videos, I think I'll put the link somewhere there, we actually said business people actually solve society's problems. So if you're looking for problems, you're looking for money to make, third world countries are the place. We've got a gold mine. Like you can make money off a third world country like piece of cake. Okay, so there are so many areas you can pick out, but for this video I have selected 5 areas that I believe you can actually get a good return for your money, and also I believe they are awesome areas. I don't think you can actually go wrong in these areas. So for this video we will start from we'll start from number 5 and work our way all the way to number 1. The tourism sector is a pretty awesome sector. Of course, we know with the COVID-19 situation, things have slowed down so much, like slow down. And there's, I don't want to say crisis, but there's a situation there. However, that's something that is just a recent thing, and generally, all things being equal, it is an awesome sector to consider, and once you invest your money in it, you hardly go wrong. Number 1, because your clientele are usually international people. If there are any locals, they usually have money and they're willing to spend, so you can actually charge them accordingly. And the second thing is you can charge your clients, as for international clients, in their currency, like dollar, euro, pounds, and when you convert that money into kwacha, it is a significant amount, so that's a good return on your effort. So I think it is a really good sector to consider. Number 2 reason you might want to consider it is it may not take you as much money to invest in it when starting out. I mean, think about it. People go out to come from, developed worlds and developed countries, and they want to experience the outdoors that we experience in Zambia, and sometimes they're running away from it, and they want to experience the game, the sleeping out, like in the out, watching stars. So sometimes if you're setting up a campsite, you may not to use like so much money, such as money for elevators, stairs, cement. No, you just set up something that has wood. The place that you will spend money or effort in is in the creativity, to make it as inviting as possible. The other area you may need to spend a number of effort or a certain amount of effort is in your marketing, to make sure that the right clientele that you're looking for actually know about you and they're willing to travel from wherever they are to come and experience your hospitality. Now in this sector, there's so many other businesses in the tourism sector. Number 1, you can be a lodge, a hotel, a campsite, you can be a game reserve, you can be a restaurant, you can be in car rentals. So there's so many sectors in here that you can pick out and just see which one works best for you. But other than that, this is an awesome sector to be in. Now, the 4th area you might want to consider when you're looking for what business to start is the energy sector. The energy sector in Zambia, it's a good sector to invest in. Number 1, for me, what shows me that it's a good sector to invest in is recently we've been having load shedding. Load shedding, for those that don't know, is when you are cut off from the electricity supply to preserve, like you're cut off so that generally the population uses less power, so there's not enough power to go around. So to load shed, you make sure the population spends less power, uses less power. So by that, it means that of course naturally that there is not as the same amount of power that the market is demanding. There's less power. for whatever reason, justified or unjustified, I'm not getting into that politics, but I will tell you that there is somewhat of a shortage of power. Now, I know that a number of you, and like myself, we will observe that load shedding has decreased, which is great, but we do know this game. We know this game, okay? And it's possible that after some time it comes back, and even if it doesn't come back, the price of power went up a couple of years back, like a few years, was it a year or two? It went up, and that generally when you have a price hike like that, it means that there's not enough supply, all those things. Okay, there's so many reasons, but generally the energy sector is a great sector to get into. If not into electricity production, you can get into things like fuel, petrol, gas stations, and actual gas, cooking gas, because that's something that actually also picked up in the recent past when load shedding came into play. A lot of us started actually consuming gas. I actually never consumed gas before load shedding. I just knew electricity. So that's something you might want to consider. Of course, as you're considering it, you must know that it does take a bit of money when you're getting into this sector. I don't think that it's something that you can use little money to set up. It's an expensive sector to venture into, and also you have to look into regulations. There is a number of regulations you have to consider as you're considering getting into the energy sector. Now, the third area you might want to consider as you consider what business to do in Zambia is the health sector. The health sector right now, given the current situation of the COVID pandemic, you find that natural responses of people is to actually sometimes panic when purchasing stuff, but also they want to invest more in their healthcare. They want to take their medications on time and make sure that everything is working on time, because they're trying to ensure that the bodies are working and strong, so that should anything happen, should they contract the disease, they're able to fight it off. Now, the other thing is that because there's not much information, it's a relatively new disease. Of course, we are getting more information as each day goes. Even those that are considering what careers to take, if you like medicines or you have that inclination into this area, it is a good career to consider, because for the next couple of years, I do believe that it is an area that will get significant support, especially in trying to understand public health and support information and knowledge, so that we actually do combat the COVID-19 pandemic effectively. Of course, now we mask up and all those things. So the health sector is a sector that I think is lucrative, and I think even in the next couple of years coming down, it will still be a viable sector, because people do need healthcare, and it's something that we need all the time. So, however, you need to take note that it is an expensive sector to get into. There's so many barriers to entry. Even if you want to do it as a career, when you do graduate, you have to know that the cost of starting to practice is relatively high when you compare to other professions. And also, when you do decide to start certain institutions like a hospital or a clinic, there is a number of regulations that you have to do, rightfully so, but it's not something that you just get into. It's got barriers to entry, and please be aware. Make sure you research and understand them before you decide to get into the healthcare. Okay, so the second sector you might want to consider as you're considering what business to do in Zambia is the financial sector. The financial sector, for me, when I look at it with my 2 cents, it is actually a sector that is lucrative. Number one, when you look at the interest rates, of course, the interest rates in Zambia are high. And for me, that gives me a sign that there's more demand for money and less supply. So if you want to get into the financial sector, particularly as a lender, it is a great business to get into. Now, please bear in mind that it is risky. Even if you do it at almost like friendly level, where you don't have too many structures and things like that, it is risky. So usually it's something you have to know, and you have to be ahead of the game and understand your clients pretty well, because it is risky. But as all things, the higher the risk, the higher the return. So it is a good business venture. There's so many people that are making good money from it, and they do understand their business. So it's a place that you need to understand and be ready for the risks as well. But it is a good venture that brings out good returns for your money. So if you're considering business in Zambia, that's one of them. That's one of them because it has good returns. The interest rates are crazy. They're crazy high. It's ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, that's that. Let me not get into it. Then the first business venture you might want to consider, which is one of my favorite right now, is agriculture. This sector, I mean, is gold right now. Not even right now. It has been gold for quite some time. If you're considering a business you can start, the agricultural sector is a good sector to invest in. Number one, because food is on high demand. It's always been on demand. I don't think there's enough supply to meet the demand, or maybe there is, but there's always demand for food. That's what I'm trying to say. There's always demand for food. So if you're going to get into the agricultural sector, make sure to just understand where your market is and how you're going to get your produce to the market, and you're set. The next thing is if you're still not sure about what exactly in the agricultural sector, from my 2 cents, I think anything in meat production is good as well, because we've recently observed an increase in price in that area. So, supply and demand, generally, there could be a lot of underlying issues, but generally supply demand, it could mean that there's high demand and less supply. So it's an area that you might want to consider to get into. The next thing is fish. Last year I did a video, I think I'll put it somewhere up there, on financing and things like that. The government actually went into giving out funds for aquaculture, for fishing and things like that. So it is a good venture you can want to consider. There's high demand and there's low supply, so the demand is not even being met for fish. So the government did come in trying to encourage people to get into fish. So it is a sign that it's a sector that can have good returns for your investment. Now, generally, like all agricultural produce, there's a high risk there. You could invest a lot and then not get the yield you expect. Things like fish, in a day or two, one day you've got good fish that are alive and kicking, the next they're all floating. So it's a risk you have to be aware of, and it's something you have to really just research and understand the product that you're getting into, and then just go with it. It has good return. Now, if you're wondering why it's my favorite, it's because right now I recently started fishing, so I'm pretty excited. I keep you updated on my Facebook page. If you're looking for more updates on my fishing, you can check out the description box. I've put in my link there for my page, and once a week I keep you updated on how my fish are doing. I'm so excited. We did it in a small pond with a few friends of mine, and we are so excited. We are just, watching them every day and hoping for the best. We know that it's a learning opportunity, and also we just want to explore it to the fullest and just see how it goes. So make sure to follow me on my page as well. Now, these are 5 things that I outlined, that are 5 areas that I outlined that I believe are really good investment areas if you're considering business in Zambia. Now, there could be more. They are more, not even there could be more. There are more areas you can consider. And like I said, Zambia is a third world country, so opportunities to make money are huge. They're huge. Other than that, you guys, thank you for watching, and remember to share, like, and subscribe, and also just comment in the comment section if you think there's a sector that I should actually consider adding on into my next video. But thanks for watching, and see you soon. Bye bye.